What's up, investors? It's the Russian dude. Let's immediately talk about some unsettling economic news. To begin with, right here on your screen you can see the graph which shows the economic so-called surprises, and right now this index is at its lowest points in more than 5 years, which basically means that a lot of economical reports, they come at below expectations. Such as, for example, one of the most recent ones, the building permits issued, came at 1.44 million, while the previous one was 1.467 million, which basically means right now less building permits were issued, and this contributes to the inflation. And the way it does, it is because simply, let's call it just theoretical scenario, fewer buildings will be built and sold, and assuming the demand will stay the same, well, there is imbalance between supply and demand, which theoretically boosts the real estate prices just a little bit. And the real estate market is already overvalued. Next, it was the initial jobless claims, which came at 215,000, while the prognosis was 220,000, and previously it was 222,000, which basically means a little bit more people gain back their jobs, which is a good thing on the one hand, but on the other hand, once again, more jobs, more salaries, a little bit more inflation. And as of right now, according to this new picture you see on your screen, the inflation is the biggest #1 concern for Americans, with more than 50% of American population being strongly concerned about the situation. Guys, once again, if you remember, the inflation is not budging, and this is just one of the criteria for the Federal Reserve for them to start reducing the interest rates and start saving, recovering the economy. Until inflation goes down, they will most likely not reduce the interest rates, which basically means the economical situation will not improve, at least in the near future. And one of the very first sectors of the economy which suffers during economic uncertainty is obviously the stock market. That is why people sometimes they switch to more different, let's call it like this, investments, such as, for example, commodities. And as you can see right here, according to this graph, which shows the correlation between commodities and the stock market, it is right now on its minimum level, which basically means that commodities right now are extremely attractive in comparison to the stocks. And as soon as traders and investors will see this, well, we might see some flow of capital from one thing to another, from stocks to commodities. And obviously, whenever people start selling shares of their companies, well, the prices will go down, simple as that. And then is yet another relatively unsettling graph, which shows the different countries they start selling the treasuries and government bonds of America, and instead try to save their money to put national reserves into physical gold, which basically means that the influence of American economy on the economy of the world is also slowly reducing. As a result of this and many other things, according to the CEO of JPMorgan, Jamie Dimon, he's basically saying that right now Americans, and especially its government, they can no longer rule out a hard landing, and in the worst case scenario, if the Federal Reserve cannot keep the situation under the control, there might be even a stagflation. Once again, stagflation is whenever the inflation is high, unemployment is high, interest rates are high, GDP is not growing. It's like the worst case scenario. The representatives of the Citigroup Bank, they also see potentially something like this happening, though they do not see a stagflation, they only see quote-unquote only recession. But the reasons are exactly the same: high inflation, high unemployment, high interest rates, and no growth of the economy itself. According to the representatives of the Smith Capital, they only see some very dark times ahead of us. And yes, they also claim that the high inflation will be mainly responsible for this, and at the same time the never-ending growth of the US debt. And if you remember from my previous videos, by the end of 2034, the growth of the US debt in relation to the GDP of America can be exceeding more than 130%. Don't forget that for using this debt, America has to make interest payments, and in the reality of high interest rates, these interest payments already exceed more than $1 trillion. And a lot of people can say, well, the situation was a little bit the same in the 1970s. The interest rates were high, well, America still somehow survived. Well, at that time, the US debt was not more than 100% of its GDP. And as of right now, just one of the very few things which keeps the US economy and its stock market flowing is once again the corporate buybacks, which since 2011 were helping to do just that. And so now you might ask, well, if everything is going down, everything looks so bad, how can you even make money? Who is the biggest benefactor of the financial system troubles? The question is, the answer to this question is the alternative assets. Among them could be, I'm not saying it will be, but could be cryptocurrencies. And we do have some good news from the crypto market. So let's talk about this right now, but before we continue, if you don't mind, can you please simply like this video, subscribe to my channel, as much I can ask you guys to do. This helps a lot with my work for this. Thank you so much. And so yes, on May 23rd, the inflows into Bitcoin ETFs reached almost $108 million, which was the ninth day in a row into Bitcoin ETFs inflows. At the same time, the Bitcoin whales, they also activated, recently started accumulating more of this cryptocurrency, which historically was also not that bad of a sign. And then right here we can see the graph of the Bitcoin price performance from 2015 to 16. And if you apply the current Bitcoin price, as long as you once again believe in technical analysis, it might be questionable, some people do, some people don't, but if you do believe in it, right here you can see some familiar patterns. But speaking about a little bit more reliable reasons for the potential future growth of Bitcoin is obviously halving. Right now, recently we finished the fourth one, and at the moment of recording this video, we started the process of the Bitcoin price increase right after the halving. This price increase is the second biggest since in this entire 4 halvings. The only one which was faster and bigger was after the second halving. So right now we might not see the price of Bitcoin moving much up or down, but according to these graphs, we are right now in the second strongest crypto market. At the same time, some other technical analysts, they see right now that Bitcoin established a pretty good support and resistance levels at $60,000 and $70,000 respectively. If Bitcoin can breach down 60,000 and then bounce back from this side, unfortunately we might see a price decline. But as soon as Bitcoin can breach 70,000, which is also a very good psychological number, this is when 70,000 can become a support level, and the way from there is only upwards. Speaking about some other cryptocurrencies, such as for example Ethereum, recently a new ETF for Ethereum was approved by the Securities and Exchange Commission, and some people see potential growth of this cryptocurrency for more than 60%. And ultimately, yet another cryptocurrency worth of your attention right now is Chainlink. A lot of sentiment on the internet about this particular cryptocurrency right now is positive. People start doing research about it, start buying their very first Chainlinks, which is once again new people, new money, new inflows. Potentially we see some good growth opportunities in Chainlink as well. But unfortunately, there is one bad news from the crypto market, is that the dog after which Dogecoin cryptocurrency was created, unfortunately the dog passed away at 18.5 years old, which is an extremely big age for dogs. Doge, thank you so much for your life, thank you so much for bringing us joy and happiness. Thanks so much for your contribution into cryptocurrency world, even though you most likely didn't know that you were even doing this. But yeah, just thank you so much. And as always guys, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you like these videos. Don't make any investment decisions based on this video alone. Do your own research if needed and then invest your money or not. Thanks so much for watching and see you tomorrow.